Assalamualaikum and very good evening.
To Mr. Hafizuddin and my fellow friends. So basically today we have an interview for our interpersonal skills assignment with Mr. Hafizuddin, who has served as a teacher at SMK Datuk Syed Ahmad for 10 years. He had good credibility and performance throughout his career as a teacher, which will be shared with us shortly. Before that, I will introduce ourselves as diploma students in medical assistant at the University of Kuala Lumpur, Science Technology. We have entered 3 semesters and only have 3 more semesters left before the graduation in 2023.
We were very glad to be able to do an interview with Mr. Hafizuddin as a hero in our group assignment. We sincerely hope you can share as much as possible of the journey, accomplishment, and hardship you face as a teacher. As an English teacher, who is your role model in the field of college and why you choose her or him?
Okay, right. I have two persons that I hold dearest as my role model. The first one was my own English teacher back then when I was a student, because she was the one who actually directed me towards this field. Because originally I did not have any intention to become a teacher or even an English teacher. But then, throughout the sessions I had with her in class and the way she taught me, I grew. I fell in love with English, and that's actually the number one reason why I am teaching English today. I mean, with all the workloads and everything, if it's not for my passion in English, then I think I would have quit as a teacher already. So she was the one who made me passionate in English. And the second person is Mr. Zanurin. My first, the teacher earlier, it was Madam Noaida binti Ahmad. And this one, the second one is Mr. Zanurin bin. I forgot the father's name. But Mr. Zanurin, he is now a teacher in SMK Badlisha. SMK Badlisha. He is like the number one English teacher in Kedah. And at first, when I started teaching in 2010, sorry, 2011 or 2010, I was posted 2011, right? The first few years when I started teaching, I heard his name. And then I got the honor to work together with him. And he is such a humble person. He is very knowledgeable. He is, well, the first time you meet him, you might think that he is, he is a bit, uh, not friendly. But then the moment you talk to him, you get to know him, he's like the best person that, I mean, in English, for an English teacher, Mr. Zanurin is like the number one person that anyone can look up to and learn something from. So those are the two people that I hold dearest as my role model for teaching English.
Oh, I can feel his charismatic personality who can inspire Mr. Hafizuddin. I think I know why you choose that person as your role model. Apart from that, having a supporting backbone is also a behind the scene hero for one's success. I think for sure you have a backbone that always support you. So can you share your biggest backbone with us, and why did you choose to be a teacher but not to be engineer, baker or musician?
Okay, right. If you talk about backbone, right, I would say it was my parents, because my parents, they never forced me to become, like some parents, they might tell you, you need to, study this so that you can become a doctor, you need to study this so that you can become something. But then my parents, they gave me the liberty, the freedom to choose whatever I want to do. So when I was a child, when I was very very young, my ambition was to be an astronomer, not astronaut. Astronaut is the one who goes to space. The astronomer is someone who observes the moon, the stars, and everything. But then I realized that I am bad at math. To become an astronomer, you have to be good at math. So I have to quit that dream. And then after that, I didn't know what I was supposed to do in the future. And because of my teacher, I told you earlier, then I decided to become an English teacher. And my parents supported it, and they helped me. They helped me financially, morally, and in any way that they could, so that I can become a teacher today. So it was my parents, both my mother and my late father and mother.
So we can see that having someone not only to put trust but it also to lean on them whenever we want. It is not impossible for a person to achieve his own success, but that person may lose the purpose of what he was in life. Mr. Hafizuddin, have you achieved any achievement throughout your career that made you proud of yourself?
Okay, this is an interesting question, and I have something interesting to tell you. Remember the teacher I mentioned earlier, Madam Noaida binti Ahmad? When I received the offer to continue my study as a teacher trainee, I told her one thing. I said something to her. I said to her that one day I'm going to surpass you. I'm going to, in other words, I want to become a better teacher than you. That's what I said to her. Not to undermine her or anything. It's just, something to motivate me. So I was posted in 2011, and then in 2015, I received what we call Anugerah Perkhidmatan Cemerlang. It's like an award given to teachers for their excellent service. And the day I told my teacher that I received the APC, Anugerah Perkhidmatan Cemerlang, she said that, my dear, you have surpassed me already. Because within 5 years of service, I already received APC. And some teachers usually will, have to spend like about 10 years to get APC. And starting from there, I have done many things. I've done many things, and I have received a lot of certificates. And one of the things that I am very proud of, other than the APC, is that 2015 as well, it was the first time that our panel, our English panel, managed to get 100% passes for the school, SPN results. And it was because of my class. It was because of my class. I was teaching the last class, the weakest one. That class had 33 students, and when I took over the class in Form 5, there were 22 students, if I'm not mistaken, who failed English in Form 4 final exam. So I had to work with that, and Alhamdulillah, finally everyone passed during SPM. And that was the first time the school managed to get 100% passes for English. And starting from there, we maintained that. And every year I have been producing a lot of A's for English. And just this year, I received an award from PPD for, I forgot the name of the award, but it's for the excellent results for SPM, because I produced the most number of A's for English in the school. And then I also received other awards for producing modules and other resources. And last year, I was given the honor to receive an award during the Teachers' Day celebration um, for sharing a lot of materials for SPM. In fact, last year, I managed to produce 15 YouTube videos to help SPM students, to study, to do revision on their own. And the video has been shared and used by a lot of people throughout Malaysia. And not just the video, I have also produced a lot of modules, which I
The last question we want to know is, what is the hardest lesson you have ever learned, and what is your motto in your life, or quotes that you always use?
Okay, right. In every class that I teach, I always tell them, I tell my students a lot of things. And one of the favorite things that I like to tell them is this. The quote is, the most difficult thing to do is to start. The most difficult thing to do is to start. That is my own personal quote, which I share with every student. I mean, there is another quote that has almost the same meaning, which is, a journey of 1,000 miles begin with the first step. I'm sure you have heard of that before, right? But for me, that one, too flowery. But the easiest to understand is the most difficult thing is to start. Because if you don't start, you cannot go to the next level and become successful. Why? Because to start is very difficult. And I told you about how I managed to, come up with modules, with videos and everything. It all started with when I was posted in 2011. It was something memorable, not as sweet though. It's actually quite bittersweet for me, because in 2011, when I was posted to this school, I was the only person posted to this district. So I had no friends. I had no friends at the school. I had no friends in the district. I knew nobody here. So I was posted here in the afternoon session, and I was the only male English teacher in the school. The only male English teacher, and I was in the afternoon session. So apparently people forget about me. Sometimes when the English teachers have meeting, they forgot that they have one male English teacher. So it was quite lonely. It was quite lonely for me. And normally, when a new teacher is posted to a school, the senior teachers will share materials with the new teachers. But I was the only male. I had a mentor, but then my mentor was in the morning session. I was in the afternoon session. So throughout the whole year, I only met him twice, and that's it. So nobody shared any materials with me. So starting from there, I was sitting in the dark. I didn't really know what to do. I had no materials. I had to, find my own. And that's when I began to look for my friends, and they were in the same position actually. They were in the same boat. They were also struggling. So starting from there, I tried to reach out, to other people as well, but then it's difficult to get what I wanted. So what I did was I began looking for reference books, and then I go through the books, try to find materials for my classes. But then as I went through all the books, I found, it was not very satisfying. Because when I went through all the books, I found that, let's say out of 100 pages, maybe like 20 pages are useful. The other pages not, I was not satisfied with with the content of the reference books. And I bought a lot of reference books at those times. So I thought to myself, if I cannot find the materials I want in a book, why don't I write the materials that I want? So starting from there, I began to come up with worksheets for my students. So I came up with worksheets. It started with just worksheets, one worksheet, two worksheets, and then I tried to simplify notes to the point that I actually came up with formulas to teach grammar. I teach grammar using formula. I don't use the typical techniques in the books and everything. I came up with my own, and I keep improving every year. So after few years of producing all those worksheets, I thought, why don't I compile them and put it in one place, and that was the start of the modules. So as I said earlier, the hardest thing, the most difficult thing in the world is to start. And if I did not start, I wouldn't have produced all those modules and YouTube videos and everything. So I think, yeah, that was my experience of how I would say I started from scratch. I had nothing. I started with nothing, to the point that people began to contact me to get my help. And one more thing which I almost forgot. I joined a Telegram group for English teachers, and that's where I met a few wonderful people whom I don't even know personally. I only met them online in the Telegram groups, but they were very helpful. So starting from there, I began to feel more confident to produce all those materials, to the point that I started as someone who received help from them, to the point that I actually was the one who began to help the other people in the group. So yeah, so that's how I changed from scratch, from nothing, and then I began to have materials, and that's the reason why I shared my materials for free, because I get help from other people, to the point that I managed to produce all those things, so I don't charge for those materials that I produce. I hope I answered the question.
Yes, Mr. Hafizuddin. So, if you can choose to be right or to be kind, always choose to be kind. We get to know that his motto really defines who he is as a good teacher, a good child, and even a good human being. It seems that time has invited, so I think that's all for our interview today. Thank you, Mr. Hafizuddin, for agreeing to be interviewed just now with us. We really appreciate and admire your credibility as a good teacher. I'm, as your ex-student, feel very proud of having you as my English teacher. Thank you once again, and please take a good care. I wish you all the best in your future, Mr. Hafizuddin, and bye everyone.
Okay, thank you everyone. All the best for you all as well.